Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Loki Kia in Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? We have really that Kia that showed the revolution, that renaissance that the brand was having. I have a 2021 Kia Stinger GT. This particular one is all-wheel drive, but before we get into this twin turbocharged luxury performance sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. This brand that started in the early 1990s here in the United States, selling cars, has really been the Rocky story of the auto industry, going from just two models, the Kia Sophia and the Kia Sportage, to now having a lineup that is absolutely dynamite. In 2018, the Stinger made its introduction. People were like, huh? That's a Kia? Yes, that's a Kia, and guess what? They're not saying that's a Kia anymore. They're saying it's a Kia, and they're saying it with pride because in addition to the Stinger, as somebody's honking, Rady's Rides fan, what's up? I see you back there. As Kia is bringing out new models, the Telluride, the Seltos, they're showing that, hey, they could bring style, they could definitely bring performance, and they could bring it at a value that separates it from the rest of the pack. Now, 2022 is gonna be a big year for the Stinger because guess what? It's receiving its first refresh since that introduction. But what I wanna talk about, we have this 2021 here, and she's looking drop dead sexy in that beautiful color. Is this the performance sedan to buy before that new one comes out? And is it the one to get instead of the sister brand, that Genesis G70, or maybe even going Audi A5? Those are the big comparisons that we're looking at. So let's go ahead, let's dive in and see if this is the one you should be parking in your garage. Right off the bat, like I said, this color just lights up, so perfect in the Florida sun. When we start at the front of the business, you're still getting fresh styling, and that's what I've liked about the Stinger. It's aged very well. One of the things you always have to ask yourself, especially if you're gonna hold on to a car for a while, what's it gonna look like 5 years from now? Is it still gonna look fresh? And even though it hasn't been 5 years, this is still looking real fresh. So I love the way they did the headlight design. You have that beautiful setup with the flat black to the interior, LED with the daytime running lamps, and of course the turn signals. And I really like the way they did that scattered effect to it. As you work your way down, I think one of my favorite parts of the front of the business is the air intake here. So you're gonna get this functional side air curtain. I love the massive size of it, plus the way they brought a little bit of silver, that vertical slot there, a little bit of gloss black, and look at how they extended the front fascia down, something that you would see on a BMW or an Audi or Mercedes-Benz product. Now, when you come across the grille, what are we getting? You're getting that tiger nose-shaped grille that is synonymous now with the brand. You have the blacked out chrome finish all the way around. The Kia badge is actually looking tasteful with the black and silver. And then as you work your way down, more functionality and some more of that black chrome. The only zonk area is gonna be in these corners here, which they could have opened up and made into brake cooling ducts. Other than that, they did a bang up job with the front fascia. Now, when you get up onto the hood, very European-esque, and that's a really, really good thing. When you're looking at the hood, you're gonna have two nice simple rises. I do like these areas with some gloss black and the silver. The one thing I don't like, which I'm gonna zonk, non-functional. So it would have been great if they made them into a functional heat extractor. This thing produces tons of heat. It's a twin turbo V6, so it would have been nice to have that functionality, but from an aesthetic standpoint, I think it breaks up the hood very nicely. Now, as we come around the bend, you can see how the headlight design carries all the way into the fender. And then another favorite of mine is the wheel and tire setup. Absolutely sexy, 19-inch wheel, machined aluminum with the metallic gray. I love the center cap because it makes it look like a center locking lug nut instead of hiding the lug nuts underneath. So that gives it a great look. And then of course, a name that's synonymous with braking performance, Brembo. You're gonna get Brembo 4-piston calipers up front with these Michelin Primacy Tour tires, which are gonna help us get the grip to the ground. And then of course, you got all-wheel drive on this specific one, which is gonna really give us that nice launch from a dead stop when we go on throttle. Now, as we go into the fender, beautiful color. You have the dark chrome and a functional side vent with a little bit of flat black, helps add that character and also that functionality. Love the way they take the lines and bring it right into the door. This vehicle looks like it's moving even though it's standing still, and that's a good thing. That's what you want to find in a performance sports sedan like this one. We have the Black chrome on the mirror caps. You do have a nice size, not a full panoramic, but it's definitely not just a standard sunroof. My only gripe, or I should say my only zonk, they should have just blacked out the rest of the roof. This whole thing with making this all black and this not, it just doesn't look complete. So a nice blacked out roof would have looked great with a blacked out shark fin antenna, but I love the side sill extension, looking great, the way it kind of flares out at the bottom. And then even the belt line, nice high belt line. You have that sexy low sloping roof. Remember, this is technically a Sportback. So this actually is gonna lift up like a hatchback and give you tons of space, but it gives you also a sexy look to it. When we look at the rear tires, like I said, you're getting the same size all four corners. So 255 on the width, 35 series sidewall, and you're getting Brembo calipers out back as well to give you that braking capability. And it's a sexy looking wheel. And this is still, like I said, 2018. So we're looking at 3 years later, still looking just as sexy. Come towards the rear. I love the way they take the black chrome, extend it into the rear quarter panel. One thing that doesn't stick out like a sore thumb because of our particular color is that reflector. I'm gonna zonk it still because if this was any other color, it's just way too long. I don't know why they did that. I wish they would have just made it a little smaller. I know it's DOT required, but the good news is when you finish off in the tail end of the business, you're gonna leave with a big smile on your face. Look at how that rear hatch kind of just pivots up just a little bit to give you some downforce. You're gonna have the beautiful LED taillights and the way they flow nicely all the way across. Another smart move, getting rid of the Kia badge, putting that Stinger script. Really looks very European and I'm loving it. Plus it's a cool name. Hey, what do you drive? I drive a Stinger. Get the hell away from me. I like that. Now when we look at the other badges, you're gonna get your Tasteful GT badge, all-wheel drive, because like I said, this has all-wheel drive. And then the rear diffuser with the quad tip exhaust, spot on the money except for this fake area. I wish they would have just kept this smooth, but quad tip exhaust with that functional rear diffuser, and you can just see the width. I'm loving her. Let's go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering our Kia Stinger. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have two hydraulic hood struts. You can see the aluminum bracing to stiffen up the front end, and then underneath the hood, tasteful engine cover. What are we looking at underneath that engine cover? We're looking at that 3.3 liter twin turbo V6, 365 horsepower, 376 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission with the all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in about 4.1 seconds. Quarter mile is gonna blaze by at 12.7 seconds. Top speed is governed at 167 miles an hour. MPGs around 18 in the city, 27 on the highway, and you're looking at the car weighing right around 4,100 pounds. And this is that other part of the equation that's so wonderful, is the performance side of things. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that interior and see what other big things Kia brings to the table with the Stinger. All right guys, we're in the 2021 Kia Stinger GT. Now this is a GT1 level trim. You can also go GT2, which brings even more to the interior. But I know you're at that point where you're saying to yourself, Joe, I've been holding off on getting one of these Stingers. I keep seeing them more and more, and I keep falling more and more in love with them. I'm really starting to think that I'm gonna pull the trigger. How much is the price on this all-wheel drive GT1? MSRP on this particular one is $49,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels, absolutely spot on the money when it comes to Euro style. Look at that brushed aluminum, the speaker covers, the contrast stitching, it all just blends together very nicely. The armrest even is actually fairly soft considering it's very thin material. Door pocket is super tight, so maybe a donut or two, maybe 2 donuts from Dunkin' Donuts. Don't get powder because that's gonna make a mess, or jelly, you're gonna squirt jelly and jam all over the place. You do have enough room for a bottle of chocolate milk, which is great. Now, when you get to the dash, soft touch material. I still think the design looks fresh, which is great because, like I said, there's a refresh coming, but I still think that they're doing a great job here. You have that 8-inch infotainment system. It is a touchscreen. You do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, real easy to use, swipe features and all that good stuff, so that's great as well. You can get your climate control, backup camera, takes up almost the whole screen. You do have trajectory, which is nice. Put it back in the park. Love the aeronautical style AC vents, very Mercedes-Benz. You got your start-stop button. The way they bring the silver into the controls here looks great. You do have dual climate, which is nice. Flat black, no glare there. silver, and a door. So we open up this door, you're gonna get wireless charging, USB, a 12 volt, and an aux jack. So they got you covered there. Close it up, look at that, look how seamless it is. Little bit of gloss black, 2 cup holders. I'm loving the silver trim. This is gonna control that 8-speed automatic transmission. It looks like a throttle right out of an F-16 Fighting Falcon. So that's pretty cool there. The bomb detonator. I wish they would make more of these at Kia. The Stinger is the only one that has this particular key fob. Looks like a bomb detonator. I probably right now I just blew something up somewhere. I don't even know. There's just something I'm blown up on fire. You have your drive mode selector knob. You do have heated and ventilated seats, which are great. You have your little tiny cubby here with your snacks. Semi-hard on the armrest, but you know what? Looks great. You lift it up. You got a going away party tray for somebody. You can fill that up with some M&Ms, maybe some peanut M&Ms, and then a ton of room in here with some felt lining. I'm gonna say you could probably get 12 packages of Reese's peanut butter cups in there. I know some people have been requesting me mentioning that snack, and I love peanut butter cups. I promise you that. You could get about 12 packages in there. Close it up, seats. You got the GT logo up top, all that beautiful leather style material, the stitch work, the bolstering, full power assist for the passenger and the driver, which is wonderful. And then like I pointed out, you got that little oversized sunroof, which makes life a little bit more bright and not so cloudy for you. But why don't you come over to the business end, because I got a flat bottom steering wheel with your name on it. All right guys, business time. You do have 2 memory seat settings. I do like the nice silver, that bright silver aluminum finish on the sill panel. And then in the foot box, you have a nice large dead pedal with aluminum on the dead pedal, the brake pedal, and the throttle. Vroom, vroom. And then you also have your power seat controls. Easy to get to. Lower lumbar feels oh so good on that lower back. And then really, here's one of my favorite parts of the interior, the steering wheel. Absolutely drop dead sexy. I want to like hug it because it's got a flat bottom, the GT badge, that gray crisscross stitching, great 10 and 2 notches. The horn button could use a little extra pizzazz, but you know what? Still looking great. Flat black on the buttons. You got paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down the 8-speed. They're a little on the small side, but you know what? I'm sure they're bringing bigger things for 2022. And then the dash. I know everybody's gonna say, where's my digital display? Well, guess what? You have digital in the center, analog tach, analog speedometer, coolant, and fuel gauge. You could toggle through some different information, which is nice. Look at that. You do have gauges there. Let me go real quick. I'll try to get back to where. So you do have oil temp, you have a torque gauge and your turbo boost gauge, and check it out, the different modes. Yes, smart, you could be smart, you could be eco-friendly, comfort, sport, and custom all together in one. So really, really liking that clean setup. Visibility out the front is awesome. Let's check out that back seat and see are your passengers gonna be squished with that low sexy roof. All right guys, back seat time. And you know what? You got plenty of room, and even with that low sexy roof, you got plenty of headroom as well. There is plastic on the backs of the seats, so I guess the good news is if your kids are eating those powdered donuts, you'll be able to clean this off really easy. I hate these cargo nets, so you know how I feel, but I'm gonna zonk them. I wish they would put some different material. You do have 2 aeronautical style vents back here for AC, and look at this, a 12 volt and a USB. We've been in cars that cost double the amount of this that don't even have that. Seats feel great, armrests feel awesome. Just as hard as the front, but you know what? At least you got a nice place to put your arm and 2 cup holders. But why don't we get to the big winning point of this Kia Stinger? Let's get to that cargo area and see what you could squeeze back there. All right, guys, time to get into that hatchback area. Real simple, you hit the button, you lift up. Look at that amount of space. That's what makes this so versatile, especially when you compare it to the Genesis G70. Now, when you compare it to the Audi A5, obviously you could get that in a Sportback, but definitely at a higher price point. If you're wondering, well, what's the size in there? You're looking at 23 cubic feet of space. The seats can fold down, which is wonderful, but it really, like I said, I think the name of the game with this Stinger is not only the appearance, not only the performance, but also the versatility. But if you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Let's take our GT all-wheel drive Stinger for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Loki Kia. We're in the 2021 Kia Stinger GT with that all-wheel drive. Every time I get into one of these, I just feel good. I feel good about the quality of the interior, how it just fits around my body, plus the price point. That's what is really gonna make you feel super good with what you're getting for the money. Now, steering wheel, like I told you, it's one of the best in the business. They did a bang-up job. We're talking about, should you go get a Genesis G70? You know what? I think on the interior, the Genesis is a little bit prettier. I think that it's more Euro-esque in this Kia Stinger, and you have more room, especially rear passenger room. But I have it in sport mode. I'm gonna leave it in automatic right now with that 8-speed automatic, let it do its job, and we're gonna do some on throttle here in this all-wheel drive. I'm gonna try to do it from a dead stop if we can. So very, very smooth acceleration. We're gonna try to find out what it's all about. All right, guys, going into this right-hand turn here. Love the feeling of the steering, the sensation when you're behind the wheel, that twin-turbo V6. Let me slow down a little bit, and we're going to see what this twin-turbo V6 is all about. On throttle, here we go. Drops down, and we are off and running. Smooth, you know, with the twin turbos being smaller in size, you're not waiting for a ton of boost, and I just wish there was a little bit more sound. So the zonk to me is I wish there was just a little bit more natural sound, especially outside. That's one of the reasons why we didn't do an engine rev, is because you don't really hear much. And from a twin turbo V6, there could be some extra glorious noise coming. Now, getting to the infotainment system, it's a good reach, nothing crazy. You have your drive mode selector switch knob. Like I said, we're in sport mode. I have the gauges up in the center showing my oil temp, the torque readout, and turbo boost, which is great. Looking out the back, it is a little tight, the way that the rear glass kind of slants down and with the headrest. But you know what? They put some excellent side mirrors on this vehicle to give you a good view, so that you're not gonna just have to rely on twisting your head around, because there are some pretty big blind spots from those rear pillars. But it's a trade-off. It's a Sportback, and those are the things that just kind of come with it. Seats feel good. I love the fact that you have ventilated and heated seats at this price point. And then you have the paddles. Paddles I wish were a little bit larger, and I kind of wish also that they were a little bit further to the edge of the steering wheel. I'm gonna do a quick U-turn here, and then we're gonna see how the acceleration goes. On throttle, yeah! Nice, much better, felt good. Put the power down with the all-wheel drive, and that's what makes this extra fun to drive, especially when the climate changes. You'll be able to really get that grip level down to the ground, and that, I'm telling you, is one of the things that's just gonna put a smile on your face each and every time you drive this car. Visibility out the front is excellent. Looking out the gauges, they are analog and they're super clean to read. Let's do another acceleration here from a dead stop. This time we'll use the paddle. So you take the shifter, you push it over to the left. On throttle, here we go. Plenty of get up and go. 0 to 60 in about 4.1 seconds says it all in a vehicle that weighs a little bit more than 4,100 pounds. I would like a little bit more weight to the steering. It feels good. I just wish that there was a little bit more. Other than that, they really checked off so many boxes. And like I said, this isn't a brand new design. This is 2018. So 3 years old and still doing the business. Let's do from a roll. I put it back into automatic mode. On throttle. Really nice. I'm telling you, the twin turbos get to work and really just project you down the road very nicely. You have a great look. It still stands out. The car still stands out, especially with this color, in a very, very good way. And I'm telling you, there's still some people that have been living in a cave that don't know about this car. And when they find out it's a Kia, they're like, what? It's nuts. But that's what they're bringing to the table here. Look how smooth this is. I just love this car. Really would buy this over a G70. I guess if you really want to zonk something major, there's no manual transmission. But look at any of the competition. When you're looking at a twin turbo V6, they don't have manual transmissions anymore. And that to me is a bummer, but that is the way it is right now, or maybe the way it will be forever. But the good news is you still got plenty of power and that wonderful driving experience. But we're gonna wrap this up. Hopefully this gave you a great overall feel and view of the Stinger. We're gonna wrap this one up and get back to Loki Kia. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Loki Kia. Definitely got to thank Robert, Danny, the whole crew getting us access to the last year of this iteration of the Kia Stinger GT all-wheel drive. Still bringing it in a big way. I'm telling you right now, if it was my money, this was the route that I would go rather than going across the street to Genesis or to one of those other more expensive brands. But definitely, if you want the performance, it brings it in heapings. But if you want to keep seeing these luxury performance sports sedans on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Rady's Ride merch. Got to give it to the queen of the camera. She's working it out here in the hot Florida sun, doing a great job. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. Show her some love in the comment section. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.